Hello, fans of Final Fantasy IV Free Enterprise. I am the Fizz. I'm your restreamer. I'm going to get the commentators Z-Man and Supremacy looped in here. And then we'll get this going. So I'm going to go ahead and unmute. Hopefully they're not in mid-conversation. We're going to find out right now.
Because I needed to.
Yep, they were. Hello, Supremacy Z-Man. You guys are live on RPG Limit Break. Sorry, I told you guys I would say hi, but...
Alright, you want to lead us in then, Z-Man?
Alright. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to RPG Limit Break. Tonight we have yet another race in the highway to the Zemus-Zone round of 32. Good evening, everyone. I am Z-Man050778, and with me tonight in the commentators booth is Supremacy. Supremacy, how you doing tonight, my friend?
I'm doing well. Looking forward to what is sure to be a super exciting race.
Absolutely. And just to kind of go through the standings real quick for you guys, we currently have, once I find everybody here, this is Sylverfire's second race. Sylverfire has 1 point. This is Demerine's second race. She has 1 point. This is Kirchin's second race. He has 1 point.
And it is also Nightdew's second race, who does not have 1 point, actually has 4, because he decided to win his last race.
Yeah, so Nightdew, certainly a win for Nightdew puts him in a really good position for the round of 16. Silverfire, Kirchin, and Demerine be good finishes here, and the nice thing is one of those three is going to get a good finish. So let's see what we have here. Kane start, Supremacy. What do you think about the Kane start?
Kane is probably one of my favorites to find in a starting position. He can get some pretty good equipment early. The Blizzard Spear is rather good. You can use it to cast Ice too, which is underrated in certain bosses. And Jump's always just a good ability to have early because you can negate some of the incoming damage.
So while we're waiting to get started here, Supremacy, what is your general theory as to how to start off these seeds? Do you raid Baron first? You go immediately up to Damcyan? What's your theory for starting a seed?
So I pretty much have the exact same route every time. I dip into Baron Town, loot everything I can, check who the in-character and visible boss are, and then I go either to Mist or Damcyan, depending on if I have a source of exit. And then my general theory throughout the whole seed, especially on these flags, that characters are good. I will almost always try and attempt Hobbs before dipping Antlion, even though a lot of people try to do Antlion first.
All right, so we have gotten the go from the IRC channel, so we are just now waiting for a Twitch delay to catch up, and we will call things as we see them, and off we go. Let's see what our first item is, and let's see what our first character is, our second character is.
Everyone's favorite spoony bard, Edward.
And a hook. So Edward, in these flags, in my opinion, Edward can be useful as long as he has a bow and a decent arrow, or a dancing dagger, or a mute dagger. Otherwise, he's pretty much just cannon fodder. Hook start is nice. So where do you go with this hook start, Supremacy? Do you still do the dive, or do you maybe go to get that free character from the Eblon Cave?
I think with Edward as a second character, I probably might go get the character from the Eblon Cave after looting the initial round of looting. But you still don't have a source of exit, and walking all the way into the cave to get a character without having exit is really time. Can be a huge waste of time, but if you find exit in an early shop, it's definitely a play worth considering.
So we are everybody's pretty much on the same path here, starting the Baron loot. We do have Drain Sword is pretty not good for Kane, but we do have Fire Armor. Fire Armor is pretty good for Kane at this point in the game.
Yeah, Fire Armor, it's got decent defense, and then of course it gives you the resistance to ice.
Cabins in town, that's a really nice find early.
Cabins are one of those items where you can go buy a whole seed and not pay them any attention until you really need one.
Cat Claw is found in Baron, which is awesome for Yang if he appears any place before, the Giant of Babel.
Yeah, unfortunately, not really too much else from shops so far.
And it looks like Sylverfire and Nightdew are headed up to Damcian. Looks like so is Demerine. Alright, let's see what we have here in these for nothing. Ice shield, not bad.
Well, they got two
Artemis arrows.
Yeah, 2 crystal helms will be good just to sell. They're not, they're pretty good equipment, but they give you a boatload of money. So it's definitely good to find some of those just to sell so you can then buy the other items. And then also found, I saw a Siren get picked up as well. So they have some access to get a free set of levels.
Yep, and the Zeus Rage is also great for helping to take care of a group of things, like if the Calbranus happen to be down in the Antlion spot, that's and Zeus Rage takes care of them real easy. So
yeah, Zeus Rage is probably one of my favorites of the Japanese attack items, only because of the bosses that are weak to it that you really want to use it against, such as Odin and Kinazo.
Okay, so we have some route divergence here. We have Nightdew going off to the Eblon Cave, and we have Sylverfire going into the town of Toroya.
Yeah, both are pretty valid plays. Definitely checking the 2 item shops in Troy is always really good. Lots of good chances to get something great there. And Nightdew's actually opting to open chests, so I don't expect him to open too much more out of that open room, because if he finds the trap chest, he's going to have to do everything all over again.
Exits in Toroya. I'm a little surprised Sylverfire did not pick up any exits from Toroya.
Yeah, that is rather surprising. They're super cheap, and if you don't have a starting character that can cast it like Tella, they're really useful.
Kirchin equipping the black belt onto Kane gives a strength bonus to Kane, and does it give agility bonus, the black belt?
Oh, it looks like Silver did pick up a 10 stack of exits.
Okay, they did. I just missed it. All right, good. All
right, looks like we're going to be seeing who the Eblin Cave character is pretty soon.
Oh, that's huge, Yang. That is huge. You got a black belt for Yang. You'll put the fire armor back onto Kane, and then give Yang the cat claw. That's awesome.
So another thing is that we saw Bahamut is the boss that's going to be in Rubicante spot. So if they find any Star Veils in a shop, which they should, I believe they're guaranteed to be in the overworld shops, that boss is not going to be much of a problem.
Now you just throw up some Star Veils and let Bahamut kill himself. Although that would be the slow way to do it.
I don't know. Depending on your level, that speed's pretty quick. You might only get one up by the time the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 countdown goes on.
Yeah, that is a good point there.
Looks like there was coffins in Frabul, so if they get any kind of early Magma Key with the Siren they found, they can go get a good amount of levels.
Okay, so it looks like we have Demerine going up to Mount Hobbs and getting... Oh, I can never tell. Which one's that?
That would be Black Mage Palom.
Which is an awesome find, again, this early.
Yes, Palom is... Of your choice of mages, you want probably Fusoya first and then Palom second, as far as early damage goes. Unfortunately, she also ran into the Fabul Gauntlet, so this is just going to take up a whole lot of time.
Yeah, not particularly difficult here, just time-consuming. Or wait, is that the Fabul Gauntlet? No, that's just the... Oh yeah, it is. Never mind. And now we have Kirchin going down the Antlion Cave, so let's see if there's anything nasty waiting for him at the bottom.
Looks like Nightdew is cautiously checking all of these chests and then after opening a few, going back to save just to make sure that they don't. It looks like they probably did run into the monster chest in that middle spot. So now
he did.
It's safe. I missed that.
Yeah, he's got no prayer of taking down those stone men at this point in the game. More crystal equipment that you can use to sell.
I was going to say, crystal equipment is my favorite thing to find because I know I'm going to have money. I mean, it's okay if you decide to go do ordeals and you have Paladin and Cecil, but mostly it's just a fat stack of cash. Ooh, Dancing Dagger picked up. That's really going to help Nightdew with some of the early game by throwing that on Edward.
Yeah, and that's great because that's a nice, consistent, quote-unquote, consistent source of, 300-ish damage, give or take?
Yeah, something like that. I think the damage range is somewhere between 350 and 500, depending on how lucky you get.
Oh, I missed the Dragoon Shield pickup. That's pretty awesome, too.
Looks like we have a vanilla Antlion. And Kirchin is probably really wishing they had a Dancing Dagger right now.
Yeah, I was just going to say, dipping down into the Eblon Cave and picking up that Dancing Dagger means that the only really way that Nightdew or Sylverfire... I don't think Sylverfire picked up the Dancing Dagger. The only way Nightdew's going to get the count is by Yang's attack. All right, so let's see what we have here from the Antlion.
Oh, looks like a Baron Key. That's not exactly what you want to see, but it's not exactly something bad either. Baron Key is another character which you might be desperate for since Edward is currently one of your 3 characters, and it's another key item. It also opens up the Odin spot, which could have a potential second key item. The problem being that you've got 2 bosses now.
Well, Nightdew also finds Palom at Mount Hobbs and is now going through the Fabul Gauntlet.
And it's not that we don't like Edward. Edward has a lot of good uses. He can use Dancing Daggers. He can hide on certain bosses to make them easy. He's just not someone you want to stick around very long.
Right. I mean, Edward certainly has his uses, especially if you get a high-level bow and a high-level arrow. Edward really has his uses. But his major issue is I'm pretty sure his HP growth, if it's not the lowest in the game, it's the only person that has a lower HP growth would be Rydia. And Edward is just not somebody that is a viable component of a Zeromus kill most of the time.
Although I know Kirchin has been practicing Edward at Zeromus strats, so maybe if we find some kind of early crystal and pass, he might show us what's up.
This is true. Early crystal and pass, and maybe as long as you have a source of cure 3s, then Edward can be a potion slinger.
Looks like we got Calbrena dolls at Fabul.
So this is where that Zeus Rage would come in awfully handy.
Yeah, they've got enough armor at this point that the dolls aren't really doing a whole lot of damage. It's just a matter of can Palom kill them with the fire too so that they don't combine.
Or maybe Demerine wants them to combine and then wants the Mega Calbrena doll so that she can get the full experience of this slot, because it is an early source of 5,000 experience points.
That's true. It's possible. I don't think I've ever seen anyone willingly do that, but the extra XP is kind of a consolation for, oops, I let them combine.
Yeah, that's what I would say. Kirchin doing the Fabu Gauntlet, and it looks like Sylverfire is just about to do theirs.
Yeah, I think it's for other characters, people might be more weary to be like, do I really want to do the full gauntlet for this character? But Palom is actually a really good character to find early just because of he gets a lot of good spells early on.
Yeah, that early Virus and that early Quake is absolutely amazing.
Like, I'm one of the few people that will take Edward at that spot, almost regardless of the boss, and seeing the gauntlet is probably one that would actually make me reset out.
Yeah, there are a few characters there that I probably wouldn't take regardless of boss, but Edward, it depends. All right, so Nightdew selling some stuff off here. And there's nothing particularly of interest at the item shops. And this is S2. You're not going to find anything particularly of interest in the weapon shops, probably until the underground.
Yeah, the best thing you're going to find in a weapon shop that you actually want to buy is probably a dancing dagger. Or if you have a whole lot of good arrows, I usually go searching for bows. If I haven't found anything, and I'm like, I got these sweet Artemis arrows and nothing to shoot them with.
And it looks like for her efforts, Demerine got the pan from the Fabul Gauntlet. So that actually does wonders, because that opens up 3 spots super early. It opens up the 2 from Sheila, and then the Sylphs.
Yep, still needs to get the underground access, though, and I'm pretty sure everyone here is still kind of thinking, please don't be a hook seed. Although the ones that have actually checked the Eblin character and saw Bahamut are probably just like, I'm fine with a hook seed. If they find the Star Veils, they might just dip it anyway.
Well, that's true, but you never know what might be before Bahamut, and that can be a problem, too.
Yeah, a lot of bosses are scary in the Recount spot because of its high HP and high speed, but I've seen a lot more runners get caught up on the boss beforehand when it's something that's got really high speed and physical attacks, because that spot has ridiculously high physical attack for whatever reason. So something like a Pale Dim or an Evil Wall can definitely ruin your day.
Even the Fabul Gauntlet is not fun to have there. Or like the dark imps, they can be a real troublemaker too.
Yeah, Dark Imp's one of those fights that if you have an Hourglass and 5 people in your party, unless they hit whoever's trying to cast the Hourglass with every attack, which has happened to me, they're kind of free, but they can still definitely kill you wherever you find them, if it's in a high attack slot. The Dark Imps at something like Leviathan are very, very difficult and kind of underestimated a lot.
So it looks like Nightdew is now going to go check Silvera, check for the 3 free items here. Ooh, Samurai Bow, that's nice.
Yeah, there's something that's definitely going to be useful for Edward after the Dancing Dagger lives its usefulness.
Yeah. And check out the item shop. Maybe we got some Sirens here. Maybe we got our Star Veils. There is the way to kill Bahamut.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see what Nightdew does, because he hasn't done Antlion yet. And we know Antlion leads to the Baron Key.
Go ahead.
So I was just going to say, it would be interesting to see if he decides, okay, well, I might be able to get through that Bahamut, so I'm just going to go straight to Hook right now, or if he continues to exhaust all the overworld options looking for a Magma Key first.
Demerine picking up her Baron Key. Kirchin picking up his Pan.
This looks like Demerine is checking Kaipo, probably just to see what the shops are, and then possibly check out what the Saint Ruby character is. Finds Hourglass 3s, which are definitely really good, but I find in most times an Hourglass 1 is more than enough and costs like 1/5 of the gold.
tier 2s and life potions and agart for Nightdew.
Yeah, life potions are super good. They're probably for me, they're probably my highest priority item on the overworld. They just are so useful because they let you do the vitality glitch in order to get bonus experience. They let you get, obviously, their intended use, they let you get people, up from the dead. Looks like there was also lives in the Toria shop alongside the exits as well.
Yeah, it looks like it. And it looks like Nightdew opted not to pick up the exits from the Toria shop. Interesting.
So, do we remember who the Baron Inn character is? I don't recall.
I don't even remember seeing it, to be honest. We're going to find out. Well, it looks like Demerine's going for it. Given the cabin and save, I would think. Oh, Supremacy. This is a good question for you in chat from Drogan. What are the differences between the Hourglasses?
Yeah, so if the spell sheet is to be believed, and I think there's actually still some people debating it, but Hourglass 1s stop with a power of 50, Hourglass 2s stop with a power of, I believe it is 200, and Hourglass 3s stop with what I believe is a power of either 300 or 500. And what I've been told is that correlates to basically the number of turns or number of seconds that the stop effect applies for. So if you use an Hourglass 3 on something, you can go make a sandwich and come back, and it'll still be stopped. But for most intents and purposes, you're going to be able to kill something with a Hourglass 1, as long as you're not doing 1 damage to it constantly.
So, interesting development in the Baron Inn. The first boss, Evil Wall, goes down without a problem. Next boss is Pale Dim. Well, that's a little bit more of a problem, given that Pale Dim hits like a truck at that spot.
Yeah. The spot the spot also has 4,000 HP, which early on like this is pretty significant. The spot in Vanilla just has Yang there, and by the time you get there, you've got Paladin Cecil, who's got a script trigger to just kill him after he kicks twice. So you don't really have to worry about it there, but in Free Enterprise, it's definitely a tough boss. I've banged my head against that wall a few times, and it's not always fun. It will be interesting to see, though, if they decide to continue to see if they can beat that wall, or if they make an Ordeals play. The Ordeals play is one that, especially with this party, you don't really want to do, because currently you don't gain anything out of it except some experience and another potential key item.
Invenerable making a very good point in chat that once Hallam has Quake and or Virus, Pale Dim should go down without much of a problem.
To answer Drogan again in chat, Silk Webs are the slow effect. Hourglass 1s and 2s are still stop. All the Hourglasses apply the stop effect.
Did Demerine pick up her samurai bow from Silvera? Interesting. Not sure she did. Maybe I just missed it.
Yeah, so we see Sylverfire on Paladin now, using the illusions they found to good use. So illusions will cast the blink spell, which will make the next 3 attacks targeting you miss. And I believe Kane must be wearing dragon armor, because he took 5 damage from that attack. So
Dragoon Shield, I believe.
Yep, that'll do it.
And I believe both of their main damage dealers have black belt armor. Well, the black belt robe, technically, but...
To answer Prism Phoenix, yes, Artemis arrows are super effective against dragons. So if Edward's got that samurai bow and Artemis arrows on, then yeah, he should be doing a lot of damage.
So it looks like Sylverfire is doing the slow and steady wins this race. Meanwhile, Demerine going to go pick up Yang.
Yep. Looks like Nightdew's got a set of Artemis arrows with the samurai bow, so he's throwing that on Edward right now.
And Paladin goes down. So let's see what we get here at Baron other than a Porom.
Oh boy!
Well, now this is interesting. So your party can be Yang, Kane, Edward, and the twins. Do you grind and go, or do you try to get somebody else?
I mean, right now, I would probably just go take the hook play. Probably get some leveled first to make sure you can survive it. But all you still need the Darkness Crystal or the Pass, which are both in key item locations due to the P1 flag. So you're not totally in go mode yet. You're only halfway there. So this is a party that you could take to Zeromus and win with. Edward can take a nap, and you just need to get Porom to be able to survive big bangs and heal while Kane and Yang do damage. Looks like Silver is opting to do Baron. It's another key item. If you can do the two bosses, then not that big of a deal. Plus another character, so can hopefully replace Edward. The only character I would see them not dropping Edward for is maybe Dark Knight Cecil, because then you kind of either have to make him take a dirt nap for an agility anchor, and he just becomes kind of a wasted slot, or you do ordeals, which is a whole lot of time.
You take Tella here and then do ordeals?
I mean, I think I might still take Tella over Edward, but I don't know about ordeals. Actually, the ordeals play will probably depend on if they find sirens in the underworld. Because if you find sirens, then you can just go do an egg grind and you don't have to worry about anything. If you don't find sirens, then your best source of grinding is probably going to be the D machines, in which case you do want to do ordeals to get Tella weak. Otherwise, you're kind of banking on finding Fusoya somewhere and hoping that you've killed enough bosses for him to have the weak spell.
Yeah, because Palom doesn't learn weak until it's almost too late to do a D machine grind.
Yep, looks like Nightdew finished the Pale Dim fight as well, and kind of all of our runners are converging here on that. So he's got his White Mage and his Crystal, and now has to decide, does he go down the into the Upper Babel and to get to the Underworld, or is he also going to make the Baron Castle play?
So this is an interesting fight here. We have Ashura in the Bygone spot. So this is an interesting fight. What would your strategy be here? A couple of Moon Veils to wall Asura and then just wail, or what?
I did not see Sylverfire's equipment, but I know that Nightdew at least has a Mute Dagger on Kane. So when he gets in there, if he does it, a jump or two from Kane will probably make quick work of her. Otherwise, you really want Star Veils. You can reflect a Moon Veil, but then you kind of have to sit and do nothing until the wall effect wears off.
Well, at least the good, quote-unquote, good news is that the magic power in that slot is rather low. So Ashura's Cure 3 won't hit for much. It's the Cure 4 you have to look out for.
Yeah, that's the one thing, is that the Cure 3 definitely isn't always a problem, but the Cure 4 is always going to heal to 100% of damage taken. So I know I've had Ashura in some like 10, 12 HP, like 12,000 HP spots, like the Dr. Luge spot, and then a Star Veil wears off and they get a Cure 4 off and it heals for like 9,500 damage, and you're just sad.
And there's
just like Syl is now.
Yeah, that's a reset.
So I do believe there is a strategy that you can use on Ashura where after getting a life cast, if you time your attack correctly, you can always make it always go onto the life face. But it's rather advanced strat, and I have no idea how to do it. But I know Nightdew does.
I managed to stumble into it once. I have no idea how to repeat it, but I did it once. No idea how. All right, round 2, fight. And Nightdew is also going up against Ashura, where it looks like is Demerine going. Looks like she might be taking the path to actually go down. Eblon.
Yeah, it certainly looks that way. She got her Porum, she got her Crystal, so it sounds like her plan is, all right, well, I saw that Bahamut. I found Starveiled. Let's go. Let's go do it.
And I believe this is Kirchin's first dip into this cave, so I think he's going to get Yang while he's down here.
Yep, he's opening all the chests, so I'm guessing he's got Hourglasses and isn't afraid of the Staleman chest at all.
A couple of stack of Hourglass 2s. That should take care of the Stalemen. And now it's just whittling their HP down.
Looks like Nightdew started to do the face lock strat and then mess up, so is reverting back to using Starveiled now. Yep, and we see Demerine also fighting the Staleman chest with Hourglasses.
Grimoire strats for Sylverfire. Let's see who they get. Oh, Odin. Wah, wah.
Yeah, there's not many places you want to see Odin out of the Grimoire. The Calbrinadalds can be affected, which is always a good one. Otherwise, the only ones you would really want to see it on are the fights that you can Hourglass through anyway.
It looks like Kirchin's just about to get the key. Well, not the key, but the rare item out of the chest here. Let's see what he gets. Hopefully it's something useful.
So I didn't see, did Kirchin do the Vitality glitch on the Staleman?
I didn't catch it. Gold apple.
Yeah, not exactly what you want to see, but there's definitely worse things that can come out of that chest. Gives it immediately straight to Palom.
Which makes sense. That makes the grind for Palom a little quicker. Especially if your goal is to get Palom to 2,000 HP. Because I believe Palom learns Nuke around 1,800 HP, give or take.
It sounds about right. I should really know that, considering the number of times I've got him to just high enough levels to have Nuke.
So Nightdew does take down Ashura and is now raiding the rest of the Baron Castle. Silent Staff is a nice pickup for a white mage.
Yeah, they might wish they had that Silent Staff on the previous fight. It does do 4 times damage to mages, so...
And on top of doing the 4x damage to mages, it also boosts the subject's willpower, willpower by 10, which is second only to the life staff.
Found a heroin robe on Nightdew screen in the Baron basement. So interesting to see if he decides to put that on Porum or not. And she can smack stuff with the silent staff or with a good bow and arrow. We know we have the samurai bow and the Artemis arrows, so she can actually do some pretty good physical damage with that.
Yeah, and combine that with being able to sell the heroine robe for 65,000 gold. Either way, it's really useful.
Oh no, we see a wipe on Demerine's screen. She goes and does the trap chest with the 4 mad ogres, but I guess got bopped by them every single time she tried to cast an hourglass. And that same exact thing might be happening to Kirchin here as well.
Couch23, thank you very much for your subscription to RPG Limit Break for the 3rd month in a row. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, Couch is here to support everybody. It looks like Kirchin has slightly better luck than Demerine and was able to get the Hourglass 2 off before the entire party got wiped, so is going to Vitality Glitch these Mad Ogres for a very sizable amount of experience.
So Nightdew has the guards here, and I'm a little surprised he doesn't use... did Nightdew pick up any coffins? Because guards are certainly susceptible to the coffins.
I think he should have some, but might just be saving them for the egg grind, considering the guards are still susceptible to hourglasses.
Yeah. Looking like they're not doing any attacks, so it does look like he hourglassed them.
It looks like Kirchin's actually using coffins on the Mad Ogres. So we'll get through that fight a bit faster to get the extra experience.
I actually didn't realize Mad Ogres were susceptible to coffins.
Yeah, me either. I just learned that now.
Yeah. I'm putting that in my back pocket for later. Oh, another terrible item out of a chest. Gaia drum.
I wouldn't call it terrible, but it's not what you want. You're probably past the point of needing Gaia drums to clear stuff.
Oh, by the way, one of our runners, I think it was Nightdew, who raided Baron. Oh, look, it's the poor Palom dupe. Oh, that's fun.
So, unfortunately, the character from Baron's not going to pay off, but we'll have to see what the key item is.
But Nightdew did pick up a Soma drop, which makes it, I always hold on to them in case I get Fusoya, because having Fu go from 190 to 200 MP is really something nice.
Yeah, definitely. Lets you have that just 5 Cure 4s instead of 4 Cure 4s on Zeromus is actually a huge deal. I always give my Soma drops to Tella, just so he can try to cast the Meteor and then look like he's doing something while the rest of the party finishes the fight.
So it looks like Kirchin is doing a little grinding here.
We got an Avenger from Baron, so not the key item they wanted, but probably not be too upset with it.
So now to really make that useful, you want something like a Dragoon Spear or a White Spear for Kane, and then just watch the damage fly.
Nightdew's taking a gamble here, checking what the boss at Odin Spot is. I don't think he's actually intending to kill it unless it's something that's super easy, but definitely just having the knowledge of what boss is there is always really good. And we see on Demerine's screen that the first boss gating the underworld is the D-Mist. So there's value in Upper Babel, because that will give them another key item.
So Bygone in the Odin Spot, interesting battle.
Yep, I'm not at all surprised to see him nope right out of that. And
Go ahead.
I was going to say, Demerine tried to use a Moon Veil on Edward, and then he got bopped, and she reset to go and try again. She's not having very good luck with enemies hitting the people that aren't trying to use items to cheese them. Nightdew is actually making the Ordeals play. That is super interesting.
So this is an interesting fight here, the Mist Dragon at the King and Queen Eblon spot. I mean, obviously we can see that the Mist Dragon hits like a truck. And, so basically the Mist Dragon's pattern is 3 attacks, go to Mist. 3 attacks, go to Mist. So it's a slow fight, but it's one that is certainly doable, especially with a bunch of life potions.
Yeah, there's a few things you really want when you're trying to fight Mist, though. The first one is someone that can cast Blink. Because if you have a white mage with Blink, and it looks like Demerine didn't do a whole lot of leveling, probably just the trap chest luck was terrible, and so she doesn't have a whole lot of levels, so this boss might be very difficult to get through.
Kirchin also doing the Mist Dragon fight, but his levels are much better at this point.
Yep. Looks like Porum is still 1 or 2 levels too low to learn Blink, which is really what you want, because when the dragon is missed, you can just start blinking up teammates, and then when the dragon comes out of mist, it's not that big of a deal. Slow is also a very, very useful thing to cast on the demist. Just because of its 3 attacks and it's in mist form, you can usually squeeze out 1 or 2 extra attacks between the transitions, which definitely helps make the boss a bit more doable.
Right, so we have a Dark Cecil and a Dark Elf as the first 2 bosses up on Mount Ordeals.
Is there any third darkness boss that we're gonna get inside Ordeals?
It could be the Dark Crystal.
It's true. Could be the Dark Crystal. Could be the Dark Lord Golbez, if that's what you want to call him. All right. Looks like Demerine did go back to fight the Mad Ogre chest and was able to get the Hourglass off this time, so is going to get a nice chunk of experience for that.
It looks like Kirchin is indeed taking the slow and steady of... Oh, but Palom has Quake, so that makes this Mist Dragon fight much, much more reasonable for Kirchin.
Yeah, after doing both of the trap chests, Kirchin turned encounters on and wandered around for a little bit just to get the levels on Palom to get Quake.
All right, so let's see what we get here at Ordeals. We get a ribbon. And a Leviathan. Not too bad, given that this spot only has, about 400, 500 HP, 600 HP, something like that?
I think it's 1,000 on the dot, but still not very difficult.
But ribbons are nice to have. They protect. Not only do they protect you from all status ailments, but they also up your magic defense greatly. So that's really nice to have.
Yeah, I'm sure Nightdew's disappointed that it's not the Darkness Crystal or the Pass, but it's probably okay with the Consolation Ribbon.
And Kirchin gets Star Veils up on everybody, and now they wait. Probably do some damage, and then let Bahamut kill himself.
Yeah, so it looks like Nightdew's is definitely gonna be the last person to at least go into Upper Babel. But with the way that he's got his levels and that Avenger, I don't know if he'll be the last one to make it through. You see Demerine finishing that trap chest and getting around 20,000 experience for her troubles. That should definitely put the party into much more reasonable levels to deal with the Mist Dragon.
So while we're kind of at a everybody converging thing, just real quickly, what we know of the seed. The runners started with the hook. The Antlion spot had the Baron Key. The Fabul spot had the Pan. The first Baron Key item was the Crystal. The second Baron Key item is the Avenger Sword. And Ordeals has a ribbon. We are just now about to get access to the Underworld through Kirchin, who looks like he's going to get there first out of all of our runners. And then we'll figure out what we have from there. So given that they have the Pan, I would imagine the Sylph Cave and the Land of the Summon Monsters are the first places to check.
And we see Kirchin reflecting that next Mega Nuke, and Bahamut goes down.
Looks like Demerine got back attacked by those mad ogres. That's always a fun thing to have happen.
I think she was probably unhappy with the levels that were out of the chest, so turned on encounters. You can get either a 3 or 4 Mad Ogre encounter randomly in the tower, which is the best EXP encounter you can have, but the back attack can be pretty scary because they can still punch you to death with the power of punching.
And given the life potion glitch here, this is going to be another quite the jump in experience here. Sylverfire seeing Miss Dragon's like, nope.
Syl realized that they have the Avenger on Kayn. They don't want that because then you're going to be triggering the counterattack whenever it hits Mist Form, which is going to waste a whole lot of time. I expect Nightdew might do the same thing, assuming he safety saves before the boss.
And so Kirchin immediately dipping into the Dwarf Castle, looking for items. I would imagine looking for Sirens. Although Cure 3's not a bad thing to find.
Yeah, I mean, usually when you get to the Underworld, the items you always want to look for are going to be Sirens, Bacchus Wine, Silk Webs, and Cure 3's. Because those are the items that you are going to will either get you to Zeromus or you will use on Zeromus.
Ooh, nice solo drop pick up there, and it looks like Kirchin is indeed going to loot the castle.
Yeah, it doesn't look like there's anything too good in any of these weapon or armor shops. Picks up Gaia armor, which is better than leather armor, but not really a whole lot much better than it.
No, the thing with the Gaia armor is that it does increase will and wisdom by 3 each. So it does boost spells there a little bit. Ooh, 2 samurai gauntlets. That's nice.
Yeah, I mean, I think in Kirchin's position, I'm not sure if I would still be opening chests at this point. There's definitely still some good stuff you can find, but well, I guess they don't have the Avenger yet, so they probably still want to find something good for Kayn. Like a Blizzard Spear is the best you're going to find in a chest, but it's still an upgrade from the Wind Spear that is equipped right now. You can also find Cat Claws, so since you have Yang, that's really good. Probably the best thing you're hoping to find at this point is maybe just a Zeus Gauntlet. Because you're not really going to find a whole ton else that you really want, except maybe a Zeus Gauntlet or a bandana.
Rune Axes, I think, can also be in chests in T3, and that would probably be the best thing Kayn can equip right now, period.
True. I think there's still some debate on whether Rune Axe or Blizzard Spear is better. The Rune Axe does have the higher attack power, but it also has the higher miss rate. You see Kaynazo as the first boss in the Dwarf Castle. So, depending on how well-timed the lightning spells are, might be difficult.
Nightdew getting a Quake off on the Mist Dragon. Meanwhile, the other 3 racers are all fighting the Mist Dragon at the same time. Oh, Bill Bodex, thank you very much for your subscription to RPG Limit Break. We appreciate it really much.
Looks like Kirchin had no problem using a Lit Bolt to get rid of the Gathering the Water status, so we'll probably be okay in this fight for a little bit. The tricky part about Kaynazo is that while every other boss that has a wave effect, which is Leviathan and Ogopogo, it is percentage-based damage. The wave cast by Kaynazo is actually HP-based damage based on his current HP. So in a really high HP boss position, I think it's something around 10% of their current HP. an early wave can hit your entire party for like 2,000 damage, and there's nothing you can do about it other than hope that you got the lightning spell or lightning item off in time.
Sylverfire is the second runner we have to take down the Mist Dragon. Looks like they're going back to save and then heading to take on Bahamut.
Yeah, it looks like Kirchin did not do what he intended to do, so is reset out of that fight and is now going to probably use that one siren that they found earlier and gain some levels.
I'll probably get 2 or 3, maybe 4 on his characters.
We see Nightdew through Mist Dragon, also hitting up the Bahamut fight now.
So Puexel asks the question, Chad, is slow not very useful against tough bosses? He feels like he really rarely sees players using it. I would say it depends on the boss. Sometimes you're better off using a Berserk or a Blink first turn than a slow. I personally like using slow, but it depends. You also have Silk Webs, so it kind of depends. What's your thoughts on slowing some of the tougher bosses?
I mean, that's definitely a question that I've asked a lot of the top runners of this as well. Is, you know, like, why don't you ever use slow on bosses? There's a lot of bosses that I try and slow as fast as I can. The Silk Webs might be a bit too cost creative to use on everything, but especially if I have 2 white mages or a white mage that doesn't need to use a cure at the moment, I love throwing a slow out. Haste, on the other hand, the fast spell in this game doesn't seem to do a whole lot any time I've used it. Whenever you berserk somebody, it feels like they get that haste status already, and they're just going to be doing the physical damage. I haven't noticed the either the Hermes item or the fast spell actually make much of a difference.
I tend to agree with that observation, that I find that fast or the Hermes really don't do much of anything. I think they're kind of a little broken, possibly. All right, Sylverfire taking down Bahamut, and Nightdew right behind them.
It looks like Kirchin is diving in plan to summon monsters and opening chests along the way. Has found the 5 warrior fight and looks like barely surviving to tell the tale.
Yeah, he did get a hourglass on, so this fight now is relatively safe.
I know that Kirchin is really comfortable not wiping to these chests because I have seen him take a level 10 Rosa and level 20 Tella solo into the underground to level off of this chest. So interesting to see where either Nightdew or Sylverfire go from here. Considering they both have the pan, I expect Sylph is going to be really early on the priority list.
I would think.
And that's exactly where Syl heads to.
I didn't even check. Was that a life potion that Kirchin got from that chest?
I did not see. I was looking at silver screen.
All right, Nightdew dipping into Tamara. Let's see what we've got here. Ether ones are about the best thing available there. Okay, Sylverfire. Oh, go ahead.
You're about to say the exact same thing. Go ahead.
And probably the best sound effect in the game, that bonk on Yang. The self-skiving Edge's best weapon in the game, the Massamune.
Yeah, we'll have to see if they continue to try and hunt down characters and find Edge, or if it just gets thrown away.
And we're going to see the land of the summon monsters. item. And it is the Magma Key. Thanks, game.
Well, I know that since Kirchin has not done Baron yet, they might be feeling good that they found the Magma Key, because it means that they didn't have to, or that they did have to do the hook. So means everyone else also had to do it, and that they potentially saved some time by not doing Baron, since it would not have been the crystal and it wouldn't have been underground access.
So, given where everybody's at now, I would think back into the overworld to go get Sheila's 2 items and to check the Mist Dragon item. I would think that would be the next logical course of action.
Yep, and we see that rune axe that you were talking about. Kirchin finds it, and the Land of Summon Monsters is going to cabin up here, so is likely to be wanting to check who the bosses are and take them on if possible. And we see sirens and silkwebs in the Land of Summon Monster shop.
So we're going to have some scrambled eggs for Grindspawn on Nightdew side.
Looks like it's Mom Bomb and a Moon Boss.
Dragon Lunar is probably the nicest moon boss you could get in this spot.
I think Plague's probably a little easier if you know the cheese strat, especially since you have Edward, but this is probably the one you would... Well, you don't want to see Wyvern, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, no Wyvern, no Ogopogo.
Yeah, and as Invenerable points out in chat, we'll see if, since Kirchin did not just immediately reset, he's going for it. We'll see if he tries to do the reflect strats that we saw the other day, where you can reflect the D-Lunar's breath attack and turn them into frogs, and basically get a free fight out of it.
Given that Kane is only being hit for minimal damage, it's possible that this is going to work. There we go.
There we go. The double frogs.
Weep. Weep. All right, so now it's just a matter of time before Kirchin takes down what is the Ashura spot.
We see Nightdew going to turn in Sheila, though, so we'll see what kind of goodies she's holding today. Oh no, and it looks like Demerine never saved after beating the D-Mist, so that wipe to Bahamut is costing her dearly.
Oof, that's rough. That's rough.
So Sheila's got a defense sword and a pink tail. So not exactly what they want, but they probably don't need a defense sword right now, but the pink tail means an adamant armor since you've already got the hook and you're already there, so I would expect Nightdew might go grab that adamant armor before heading anywhere else.
So who would you put that adamant armor on in this case? I would probably lean toward Porum, just to make sure A, she lives, and B, to up her white magic ability, but I think you can make the case for really any one of the other 4. Where would you put the adamant on?
I would probably put it on Kane and then swap it over to Porum as you're going to Zeromus. You get the Legend Sword from the Dragon Mist check. Nightdew went and turned in, found Rydia's mom, and got the Legend Sword.
And let's see what the Ashura spot's going to give us. Drum roll, please. Brrr.
Earth Crystal. That could be a blessing. It could lead to one of our required items to get into the Zeromus fight, or it could lead to a very long series of red herrings that cost nothing but a lot of time.
The nice thing about, though, the the Earth Crystal is that you do go up the Tower of Zot to get the 2 characters there. Maybe you find Edge, given that now they either have or will have the Massimian, which is great for Edge, or maybe you find Fusoya, or you have the Dream Zot and you get both. So maybe you do find it, or maybe you find Rosa, who doesn't have the same HP issues that Porom has.
Yeah, it's definitely a play that, especially since they haven't done Sheila yet, they're going to go turn in the pan now. Probably head straight to Sheila. You're already in the overworld. You're pretty close. I would probably do Tower of Zot right after that. You see, Sylverfire has silk webs and is taking on the Kanazo fight now.
It looks like I think Nightdew was about to go do Baron Castle. Or maybe the Odin spot? The Odin spot.
Yep, he knows what boss is there, so believes that he's in a position to take it now, so wants to take the gamble and see what's available. That's right. As chat points out, it was Baigen that's at the Odin spot.
And given that Kane has the adamant armor, this shouldn't be, and the Avenger, this shouldn't be too terrible of a fight.
Yeah, looks like Sylverfire made it through the Kanazo fight, picks up Rydia for their trouble, and immediately fights the elements. So now I haven't seen. Do you know if anyone picked up any summons from either a trap chest or a key item spot?
If anybody has, I've missed it. But at least Rydia is somewhat useful at this point, given that she has access to all the level 2 spells and the Titan summon. So that at least makes her somewhat useful at this point.
Yep, I'm also pretty sure that at least one of our runners has found a Dragon Whip. So if Syl's got that Dragon Whip, that's going to be really helpful to do an egg grind. And you see Baigen's just hitting Kane for 1 damage, and then Kane swings back with Avenger for around 2,000. And we get the Luca key from the Dwarf Castle. So I don't believe anyone else has done... Yeah, Kirchin's definitely the only one that's done the Summon Monsters bosses. So if that Earth Crystal works out, that's going to be a really huge edge for them.
Yeah, exactly. And if, similarly, if this Odin play works, the Odin play works out for Nightdew, that's huge for him.
Oh yeah, Nightdew's found Sirens. If this is either the Darkness Crystal or the Pass, he's just going to go kill a bunch of eggs and go straight to Zeronis.
Mm-hmm. But, we are starting to run out of places here for the Darkness Crystal. We've got the tower, but then again, you never know what some of these things will lead to.
So Palom is the lone survivor of the Odin fight after the arms explode, and is rewarded with a tower key.
All right, which one do you follow? Well, Nightdew doesn't have the Earth Crystal, that's right. So I would imagine Nightdew's next stop is the tower key.
Oh yeah, this is definitely going to make some interesting route divergence, because we see Kirchin heading to Zot already, and I would be very surprised if Nightdew didn't immediately head down to the tower after finding that.
Yeah, because the tower, you got a free boss behind the tower key, and then you got a boss at the top. Might not be a free boss, but shouldn't be overly difficult, and it's 2 key item locations right there to check. Can't blame this call, and there's another rune axe for Kirchin. And Kirchin's call makes sense based on what he has. So this is making tons of sense for either one of our runners. It's just a matter of, is it going to pay off for either one of our runners?
So it looks like Nightdew's deciding to do a bit of a grind before heading into the tower, or wherever the next location is.
I can't really blame him for that, just because that the boss at the top of the tower can be a bit of a handful sometimes. So having like a Cure 3 spell and, access to maybe a couple level 3 spells for Palom, not a bad idea.
As Neon Gray's pointing out in chat, Nightdew did scope out who the boss was on the way down from Upper Babel, and it was somebody in a purple robe. So it's probably going to be either, I think we've seen Mylon, meaning that it's probably Mylon Z or Water Hag, because we've also seen the Fabul Gauntlet. And that spot has the tricky palette swap sometimes.
Have we seen either of the Milons?
I thought we saw original Mylon at Hobbs, but maybe I'm thinking of a different seed.
Hobbs was the Fabul Gauntlet.
Oh, you're right. I am thinking of a completely different seed then. So yes, it could be either of the Mylons then.
So really not an overly difficult battle there.
Nope, Mylon Z can kind of hit hard sometimes, but especially in the Dr. Luge spot that has 0 magic attack, the original Mylon his lit ones will be hitting for 1 every time. Oh, we found Rosa at the top of Zot.
Yep, so that's a gimme right there. He'll swap out, I would imagine, Edward for Rosa. And if he's got to go 2 white mage strats, he's got to go 2 white mage strats. And we get Sid. This will be interesting because he did pick up a rune axe. Let's see what he does.
Yeah, I'd be very surprised to not see dropping Porum for Rosa and then Edward for Sid. And keeping Edward instead of Sid, Kirchin crazy.
That's unconventional.
Yeah. Kirchin's somebody that I've talked with a lot, and he does really love Edward, and he is he definitely wants to change everyone's mind on Edward, so he could be doing it for that. He could be doing it for Fantasy League points by taking Edward to Zeromus, or he might just really want Edward in case he finds a plague somewhere.
Nightdew reaching the top of the tower, and we'll see what this shrouded figure is. And it's Milan Z, so Milan Z might hit for a bunch, but ultimately should not be a difficult battle.
Yeah, Kane's got the adamant armor. Milan Z's not going to be doing much.
Pass.
Ooh, we got the pass from that Earth Crystal play, so Kirchin now has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 key items, so not quite at the 10 mark. But assuming he saw the sirens, I expect to grind and go at this point.
Yeah, I can't expect Kirchin to do anything but grind and go. So this is going to give him a huge leg up, not only on Nightdew, but on everybody else, because nobody else has the Earth Crystal. So right now, if anybody gets the Darkness Crystal, they're going through the darkness. So this is Kirchin's race to lose.
I mean, it's still going to be a slow grind, and he is deciding to take Edward over Sid. So
I missed the item at the top of the Babel Tower. Can Did you see it, Supremacy, or can we get a
No.
little aid from chat?
Yeah, I missed it too.
Oh, looks like our wonderful tracker got it. Izon, our wonderful tracker behind the scenes, got the rat tail. Nicely done, Izon. Thank you.
All right, so that puts Nightdew at 9 key items. So if the tower key is the darkness crystal, then he will also be in go mode, but he will have 10 key items. So his grind will be significantly slower, or significantly faster, sorry. But he will have to take the slower route down to Zeromus through the moon.
And not to mention, he'll have to go through the cutscene. Well, the two cutscenes. He'll have to go through the big whale cutscene and the cutscene of getting a character at the moon. So that's slower right there. That's at least a minute or two slow down.
Yep. Looks like Silver is now doing the Odin play, so will be rewarded with their tower key. And Demerine is heading back to Baron to see what she missed. Nightdew realizes he forgot to do the tower boss on the way out, so turned around and went back. We got a moon boss, and it is Wyvern. And
Hi, Wyvern.
bye, Wyvern.
I hope you all enjoyed your glimpse of the Wyvern for a second.
You know, there's a few spots when I'm doing bosses that I will unequip an Avenger from Kayn before starting a boss fight, but I mean, that tower spot, you're really not afraid of anything because Avenger Kayn will probably just one-shot out everything that's there.
Yeah, exactly. Or Avenger Cecil, either or.
Yeah, no, there's definitely times when you have Avenger Kayn equipped and then you run into Vovalis and you're like, yep, I'm going to reset now.
Or the Mist Dragon. That's an automatic reset.
A really high HP Dark Knight Cecil spot, also a reset.
Ant Lion at a high strength spot.
See, with the Avenger on, that's not that bad, because the counterattacks aren't actually that awful, so...
Alright, so let's see what we get here from the Super Cannon.
Yeah, if this is Darkness Crystal, then this is definitely still it might be a very close race. Oh, just a Sand Ruby.
Although the Rat Tail is also picked up, so if the Rat Tail is the Darkness Crystal, then again, we could be looking at something.
It's very true. I'm actually surprised Nightdew is going to check the Sand Ruby character. But I guess they do still have Edward, so probably not the worst play. I don't know if anyone peeped who the character was earlier.
Oh, High
it's
Edge. Oh, that's big. I mean, he doesn't have a spoon, but he's got the mass immune, so that's a nice pickup for Nightdew right there.
Yeah, taking Edge to Zeromus over Edward is definitely a smart play.
To answer, oh my god, I can talk. To answer Mortal Mago's question in chat, the pass was behind the Earth Crystal. And the Earth Crystal was behind the Ashura spot. Now that I can talk, I can finally answer that.
And Invenerable pointing out in chat that even if Kirchin .duns first, nobody else will have any more information on where he could have went. Because he could have found Darkness Crystal and gone to the moon off of anything.
This is very true. And there's the Darkness Crystal.
Oh, so we got a race, because Nightdew's now got 11 key items, so he's in double experience mode, and he's got his go mode as well. So we'll see if the lead that Kirchin has by finding their go mode first is diminished by keeping Edward and by having a slower grind.
This is going to be a very interesting race now, especially considering how Sylverfire is about to catch up to Nightdew and Kirchin by having 10 key items and the Darkness Crystal.
Yep, and I would expect that it looks like Demerine is about to do Odin now as well, so she will be on her way to getting the same kind of path, although just a little bit behind.
Although the one thing I don't think we found is any Bacchus wines. So maybe the Bacchus wines are up on the Hemingway shop, and that could give Nightdew and Sylverfire an edge in the Zeromus battle, having the Bacchus wines.
Yeah, that's definitely possible. I think it's probably Kirchin might have hit themselves for dropping Porum instead of Palom after they saw that it was the pass, because if you want to do Berserker strats, going with 2 white mages is so good if you don't have Bacchus, because you can use 1 white mage to use Berserk. Double heal is always good, and yeah.
Yeah, but even if Kirchin loves Edward, I don't think there's a good case for him to drop Palom, because then you'd be taking basically a big chunk of damage in Palom's nuke out of the party. So then you'd be basically relying on Kane, Yang, and Edward to do all your damage.
Yeah, but a Berserk to Yang and a Berserk to Kane with Adamant can definitely do all the damage you need. So Drogan asking in chat, is safe health for Big Bang 2200 HP? I think the highest Big Bang that I've ever seen was around 2400, and that's on someone that's got pretty much 0 gear. But generally, if you've got good magic evade via Crystal Ring, Protect Ring, Rune Ring, Adamant Armor, the white shirt, Sorcerer Robe kind of stuff, you can usually get away with around 1900, 2000, and only kind of die to really bad luck. But you can still die to really bad luck, so.
So Nightdew is almost caught up to Kirchin in levels at this point.
Yeah, that's kind of to be expected because of the double experience, so only has to do half the amount of eggs. Also has the Avenger, whereas Kirchin is using Virus to kill the eggs. So not only does Kirchin have a slightly slower time grinding, with not having found that Avenger Sword, but the only having half the XP that Nightdew's getting is going to make that a little bit different. Although Nightdew does still have Porum, so needs to get a few extra levels so that the White Mage will survive, whereas Kirchin could probably go now and swap the Adamant Armor onto Rosa, and she would not really be in any danger.
Go ahead.
Oh, you were answering the same question I was about to. Go ahead.
Rydia was behind the dwarf castle. Oh, and Demerine wipes at the Bygone arm explosion. Oh, no!
But Demerine has not been having a very good seed.
No, RNG and it just has not been in Demarine's favor at all. She's gotten some really tough breaks.
Yeah, I haven't seen anything that stands out as like playing poorly. Every time I look, it's just like, nope, someone took a shot that could have gone to 3 other people, and that's who they needed to go next. So,
yeah. But unfortunately, this is kind of the way randomizers go, is, one poor thing of RNG can set you back, minutes, which is just awful.
Yeah. It looks like Kirchin is done with the grind. It is he's now flying around, probably looking for Silkweb or Bacchus or something to help out with the Zeromus fight. Or not, and is just heading straight there now, so. we should be coming up on our peek at the Zeromus sprite in probably the next few minutes.
I have done that so many times. Talk to the wrong person to use the pass. It's ridiculous.
My guess was just a last. I don't know if he checked the shop earlier, so maybe a last minute, just making sure that there was no Bacchus at the mist.
So Sylverfire is loading up on life potions. I wonder if they're going to go do the D machine grind.
If I had to guess, I would say probably not D machine, but with the hourglasses and the life potions and sirens, the King Ryu grind on the moon. If you already have to traverse the moon to get to Zeromus anyway, because you don't have the pass, especially when you have 10 key items, you can life glitch one of them and get 180,000 experience. So that's basically the equivalent of 3 eggs. So just in that one fight, you only have to do maybe 2, 3, 4 of them, and you have enough levels.
All right, ladies and gentlemen in chat, let's see who Zeromus is tonight.
Looks like Kirchin is starveiling up Edward in order to bounce spells off of him.
Zeromus's true colors have emerged. What do we have tonight? We have...
We have the Frost King mist that I have no idea what it's from.
Scala? Oh, Scala says it's Jack Frost.
I believe this was one of the first ones that I saw after all of Scala's work putting in a whole bunch of new sprites.
And we have a vanilla Fusoya.
And yes, I'm being told it's from Shin Megami Tensei, and I have no idea what that is. And Neon Gray points out that this particular sprite is from Persona 2.
Interesting decision there to ditch Palom for Fusoya, in my opinion. What do you think of that? Would you keep Palom or would you take Fusoya?
If I was smart and had realized that I killed enough bosses to power up Fu, then I would probably do the same. But knowing me, I wouldn't remember if Fu's at full power or not, so I wouldn't chance it.
See, for me, what it comes down to, and this is just, again, my opinion, is Palom's magic power is so much better than Fu's. Fu's nukes will hit for, 6k, give or take. Whereas once Palom gets to nuke, he can almost 99.99 nuke reliably, which can save, quite a few number of turns if you get a couple of nukes in.
Yeah, definitely. But especially in a race setting where nobody's done yet, and you have an early crystal, you think maybe the only reason that someone hasn't done yet is because they've died to Zeromus. And getting the Fu there gives you another healer, so if your Porum decides to take a dart nap, you've got somebody that can still heal the party up.
This is true, and you got the Berserk capability too, so now you can Berserk your party. You can at least Berserk, Cain and Yang.
Yep. I'm guessing you meant Edge and Yang, because Kane's gonna have the Avenger.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I did. My bad. And Sylverfire ditching Fu. So now we're gonna have those two strats, on display at once.
Yeah. So I didn't catch the exact time that Kirchin entered the Zeromus fight at, but I'm curious to see if there's any way that Nightdew can actually catch up the lead with a superior party.
I think Kirchin is having a pretty slow and steady fight. Unless Kirchin just gets some stupid bad RNG at this point, I don't think it's going to be possible. You never know, but I can't see it happening.
Yeah, according to Invenerable, Kirchin entered the fight a little after 118, so about 4 minutes into the fight. I expect that they'll probably finish up soon. So unless, something really horrible happens, I would expect Kirchin to have this.
When I said slow and steady, Chris and Phoenix, comparatively to the chunks of damage that Nightdew and Sylverfire are just about to put up on Zeromus.
I was gonna say I think Kirchin might have transitioned into Meteor Phase, but I am wrong. There's a Big Bang. Yep, we see Nightdew just now transforming Zeromus, so Kirchin's got about a 5-minute head start on the fight, so again, I think, except for something going horribly sideways, I think Kirchin should have this.
And there's the Meteor Phase.
Yeah, and it misses Rosa and Palom, and the Cure 4 is off, so I don't see a way for... pretty sure Kirchin's going to have this.
Yeah, unless something absolutely stupid that I've never seen happens, like his console resets between now and by the time this nuke is done, then I'm pretty sure Kirchin has this.
And there we see the flash. So GG to Kirchin, coming in first place.
With an official SRL time of 1 hour, 24 minutes, and 13 seconds.
Yep, we're trying to get Kirchin in here for an interview while Nightdew starts up the Zeromus fight, or the Jack Frostmas fight.
And with that chime, I do believe we have a Kirchin joining us in chat. Kirchin, good game, my friend. Well done.
Hey, guys. Thank you.
Congratulations on your first place finish. The question that is burning through everyone's mind now: why Edward?
Why Edward? Yeah. It's funny because at that point, I just picked up the defense sword and adamant for King. So I'm like, the only thing that control me is a Dark Knight Cecil or an Odin at his own spot. And Edward does well against both of those. And then, wouldn't you know, the moment I decide to stick with him and not take the other two, Odin's the very next boss, and I just down him easily.
Yeah, I had a theory about that it was because of the versatility of Edward on certain boss fights, but you really didn't need any of the help on that Odin fight.
No, I was able to just do enough and get him down, so I was happy to see him there and not... The Odin slot guarding Moon was what was scaring me at that point.
Yeah, so what are your thoughts on this seed? You were the only person to have found the pass.
I decided Earth Crystal was the way to go at the moment. I saw it was the Asura spot. I figured, kind of like with the other race, if I choose something weird or tough or not very common, then for better or for worse, I'll be statistically significant. So luckily this time it turned out to lead me there.
Yeah, we saw you use the frog strats on the D-Lunars there, and I know I've seen you take on that spot the other day really low. You seem to be very comfortable with that D-Lunar fight.
Yeah, that's kind of the funny thing I was noticing. The Lunar Star is becoming more and more comfortable for something to go against, so when I saw it was there, I figured I'd take a shot at it and hopefully get lucky.
Nope, not to interrupt, but Nightdew has entered the medial phase, so he should be finishing up extraordinarily shortly. Oh, and there it is! Nightdew has finished in second place in this race, with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 27 minutes, and 2 seconds.
Gee, that was close.
Yeah, so you beat Nightdew to go mode. However, he got the Darkness Crystal and 11 key items. And he also got the Sand Ruby and found Edge.
Okay.
But since he had to do the full Walk of Shame down from the moon, you entered the Zermos fight about 5 minutes ahead of him, and he might have had a slightly faster fight, but just not that much faster.
Oh, wow. I was thinking of cutting my grind early, but I figured if I got Palom Nuke, it's just a little extra in the fight, so... I grinded a little more than I normally would, but I didn't want to, throw it away at the end.
And I do believe we have a Nightdew joining us in chat. Nightdew, nice job. Good game, my friend.
Hello, and GG to Kirchin. Well done.
Thanks, GG to you, too.
So Kirchin, this now puts you at 5 points for the Highway to the Zemus-Zone League after 2 matches. How are you feeling about that? And how are you feeling about your next 2 matches?
A lot less terrified of them, I guess. I was terrified of walking away from race 2 with only 2 points.
Yeah, unfortunately, with Nightdew finishing second, that means that somebody will be walking away from this race with only 2 points.
So selfish, man.
Apologies, I really didn't want to do it, but...
So Kirchin, before we interview Nightdew, do you have any last-minute thoughts that you want to, any last-minute shout-outs?
Yeah, I apologize for the whole first 15 to 20 minutes of that. That was a rough start. I thought Edward could do more than you did. I'm used to having a samurai bow or something to at least do some damage. The first 3 fights were bad for me.
All right, well, to anyone watching, please go follow all of our runners, Kirchin, Nightdew, Sylverfire, and Demerine2. And have a great evening, Kirchin.
Yeah, you too. Thanks, guys.
All right, so Nightdew, what did you think of that seed?
I mean, I was kind of thinking it was going to be a redux of my first round match where we got a very early go mode. I mean, a fast crystal just kind of changes everything. It turns the moon off just because you're going to get your moon access. So we had to figure, and I was just kind of running around hoping. I was really hoping. And 2 point, the Odin spot, which I checked early, did kind of point me in the right direction.
Yeah, so Kirchin actually found the pass by clearing out the D-Lunars at Ashura, and then that led to the Earth Crystal, which led to the pass. You and Sylverfire and Demerine all did the Odin play, which led to Tower Key, which led to Rat Tail, which led to Darkness.
Okay, that's where the pass was. I was wondering if we were locked to a moon pass or something like that. I would assume Demerine and Sylverfire ought to be pretty close to finishing in that case. I haven't pulled it up yet.
It looks like Sylverfire is doing Siren grinds on the moon, and Demerine is doing egg grinds.
Okay, well, good luck to both of those. But, I mean, other than that, I mean, it was... I was jumping for joy as anybody. I don't know if anybody did that early with Baron, but finding that Avenger at the end of it kind of led you to turn off the thought a little bit with Kane just doing everything.
Yeah, you and Sylverfire both did the early Baron play, and were both pretty neck and neck getting into the Underworld. I think... I don't recall what the major divergence was between you two. I think you just went to Odin a whole lot earlier, whereas they went to Dwarf Castle and found Rydia, and then went and did a few different things.
Well,
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure if I...
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, I'm pretty sure what the major difference was is that Kirchin was kind of doing some grinding as he went, so he had significantly less problem with the Mist Dragon Bahamut combo than everybody else did. Kirchin was the first one done with the Bahamut and Mist Dragon combo because he had ground up a couple of extra levels and was able to really take care of that Mist Dragon pretty quick.
Yeah, Mist Dragon was kind of punch in the face there. I didn't think Bahamut would honestly be, it's Bahamut. Throw some walls, raise your Zerkers, put Eddie in a corner, and you're fine.
Yeah, we unfortunately saw some others take a wipe to Bahamut from the Starveileds wearing off between the Mega Nukes.
Yeah, that's why that Avenger Kane was so good there. I mean, it was just a steady source of offense that, I knew Carveils didn't last forever, and I couldn't remember if they take 1 or 2, so I really didn't even want to chance it, and Kane allowed me to do that. I was kind of wondering, did Kirchin go and pick up that edge at the end?
Nope, he finished with Edward, so he's getting maximum fantasy points.
Yeah, I was wondering. I was thinking about keeping him. I knew I'd check Kaipo. I saw Edge. I had a long and a Masami unit in my pocket. I'm like, it'll make Zermus faster. I'm sure I'll make that time back up.
Yeah, so the characters... Oh, sorry, C-Man, go ahead.
I was going to say, number 1, Extract88. Thank you very much for your subscription to RPG Limit Breaker. Really appreciate it. The other thing I was going to say is the major difference as far as party goes is at the top of Zot was Rosa. So he had Rosa as his main white mage.
Yeah, that might maybe kill my grind a little bit faster. I know I'm still a little touchy with Dragon Porom in. She did fine. Finding Fusoya up top, I was absolutely thrilled, honestly, because that meant I could do my kind of double white mage thing. That was a last minute swap, but finding Fusoya on the moon with 1 white mage, I almost take that every time just so I have an easy time with no Bacchus.
And just to give you kind of an idea on things, Kirchin had about a 5 or 6 minute head start on you, Nightdew, going into the Zeromus fight, and you guys finished up not even 3 minutes apart. So your Zeromus fight went much, 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 much quicker than his did. And that was because you had edge.
Oh yeah, that's what I figured, and I figured the time I was going to take. Now, if you said he went 6 minutes ahead of me, he had a pass. Yeah, I'll believe that Edge made up a couple minutes there, but yeah, I'm assuming he would have had me either way then.
Yeah, so it looks like Silver is now entering the Zeromus fight. Also decided to ditch Palom for Fusoya, but since they did their grind on the moon, that wasn't really a hard choice.
Not so much there. All right, I'm going to tune in and watch the end of this, and make room for Silver when he finishes up, and good luck to both runners still in it.
All right, thank you, Nightdew. Good game. Good game.
Thank you.
Nicely done.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So just to kind of finish up there, that now moves Nightdew to 7 points with 2 races left. So Nightdew was pretty comfortable in looking to move forward out of that top 12. So Nightdew's in a really good spot there.
Yeah, that's definitely true. Although I'll speak from experience of saying that I've got 3 races and 10 points, and I still don't feel safe. So, unless you have all first place finishes, I don't think anyone feels really super safe.
Hey, I will trade you for my spot any day.
It's true. You really need to come in first.
Yeah, I need to win in my next race, or else I'm bowing out. So, but either way. And Sylverfire has gotten to Zeromus.
Looks like Demerine should probably be done with her grind shortly. Looks like everyone's in the level 50s. Porom, probably trying to get Porom to that 2k HP mark. Maybe doesn't want to waste the DPS to put the Adamant Armor on Porom instead of Kain, just for the survivability.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And then probably when she gets to the moon, she'll trade Edward for Fusoya and be in a good spot.
Yep, I definitely see that happening. And looks like she says she's done now. She's heading out to the moon.
So
sorry, go ahead.
All right. So while we have a minute here waiting for Sylverfire to finish up, I just want to thank our behind-the-scenes crew, Aizan Tayama with tracking, and The Fizz with restreaming, and thank you for our RPG Limit Break for providing the channel. We could not do this without you guys, and I really appreciate your work. Thank you.
You took the words out of my mouth. That's exactly what I was about to say.
The other thing I think we should go over quick before Sylverfire finishes up is the schedule for tomorrow.
Oh yes, tomorrow's schedule, and I believe is it one of these days we have 3 races. I can't remember. I think it's tomorrow, right?
No, tomorrow we have 2. It is Sunday that we have 3 races. Tomorrow we've got 2 at 9 p.m. Eastern time on right here on RPG Limit Break. We have Big Dunka, Kirchin again, Mr. Ubik, and Muppets in Space going. And then half an hour later on Speed Gaming, we have Fred Coughlin, Scratch Dragon, Swimmy Leone, and Ravlin. So 2 nighttime races tomorrow for you guys to tune into. They should both be great races. And then on Sunday, we've got 3.
Yeah, and our 3 races for Sunday we have at 1:30 p.m. Eastern. We've got Penguinator, Kobahi, El Magus, and Dusty Griff. And then at 7 o'clock, we have Nightdew, Rivers McCown, Abda Jr., and Chokashura. And then at 10, we have Dragon Dart, Ravlin, Z-Man here, and Vitasia.
Yeah, so busy weekend here on RPG Limit Break and Speed Gaming, and I think there's even one on Randomania. So, yeah, should be a fun weekend with 5 Highway to the Zemus-Zone races.
Yep, this is a stacked weekend to get your free Enterprise fix in. And we see Sylverfire finishes up Frostmiss with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 38 minutes, and 22 seconds.
And I think Sylverfire even beat my invitation into Discord. Sylverfire, well done. Nicely done.
Hi. Yeah, I didn't feel too great about some of my early execution there. But, that was a cool Zeromus fight. Healing is for chumps.
Yeah, you pretty well wrecked Zeromus.
So it seemed like everybody had kind of a rough early start, mostly because of the Spoony Bard. What are your thoughts on that start and kind of what got you through it? You and Nightdew were the only ones to find that Avenger. So,
where was the Avenger again? Baron Castle?
yes.
Okay. I felt really unlucky when I did Baron Castle and got Palom again, when I already had Palom. Like, I was really hoping that was, like, something to replace Edward. Anything.
Yeah, finding the duplicate.
The Avenger was a nice consolation prize. Unfortunately, Avenger is not a useful weapon against Demist, which is kind of the annoying boss to get to the Underworld.
Yeah, we saw a few people have a bit of trouble with the Demist.
If I had a couple... I'm an idiot. I should have just popped my Moon Veils. I don't know why I didn't. I had 2 Moon Veils. I just realized now it's like, just Moon Veil the stupid Demist.
Well, I can imagine you were thinking to use the Veils for Bahamut that was waiting for you.
No, I had Star Veils for that.
Yeah, I don't know. Just maybe forgot in the heat of the moment.
Yeah, I was like, okay, I have illusions. I'll use illusion. Like, I bought illusions specifically for difficult physical fights like that. Then I guess I just didn't change off of that plan when I had a better option.
Yeah, well, I believe you and Nightdew were neck and neck getting past both the Demist and the Bahamut.
Okay.
And then it was kind of, the divergence there was that Nightdew did not do Dwarf Castle.
Yeah, that's another case where it's like, okay, I'll go do this thing to get a character that isn't Edward, since I'm possibly going to have to fight a bunch of hard bosses still. And then I neither got a character that wasn't Edward, nor had to fight hard bosses.
Yeah, Nightdew did the Odin play before dipping Dwarf, so got the Tower Key, and that led to both the Sand Ruby and the Darkness Crystal. So Edge was in Kaipo, so just replaced it.
Yeah, I got Edge too. So, although I messed up, I didn't equip the Boomerang in the right slot for him, so I didn't get the full damage from back row. Whoops.
All right. Well, is there? Well, Demerine is about to begin her Zeromus fight, so is there any final words that you would like to impart?
I kind of wish I did better, but whatever. I'm okay. At least I didn't. After Tuesday, I was kind of feeling really down on myself because I really performed poorly Tuesday night, and at least tonight, like, I don't have. Like, I got a little unlucky, but I don't feel that, like, I can blame my execution too badly.
No, in my opinion, you executed really well. It's just you made one extra play than Nightdew did, and that was it. And Kirchin made the play of the seed. Kirchin actually fought the Ashura boss, which was the Dragon Lunars, which gave him the Earth Crystal, which gave him Rosa and the pass.
Wow. Okay, that's an impressive play.
So, I mean, you executed really well. It's just, unfortunately, you kind of got randoed in that, you took a path that the others didn't take, and it cost you a few minutes. So, in my opinion, you can't be upset with that. When you played well, it's just you took the wrong path. So that's well done. You played well.
Mm-hmm. I feel like I could have played better, but I didn't completely choke like I did Tuesday night, so I'm okay at least with that.
Oh, good to hear you're not feeling too upset with your performance. I think everyone would agree that watching it said you did really well. So might not have,
It sounds like there was a lot of divergence after the after getting through Babel.
Yes, you all kind of converged on Baron Inn, and then you and Nightdew went and did the Baron Castle, whereas Kirchin and Demerine both went straight to the hook. But then you all still kind of converged on the on killing Bahamut at around the similar times.
Okay.
And then just took completely different paths in the underworld.
I'm pretty happy about, I think my path in the underworld is defensible, even though it's a little weird to be like, yeah, I'm gonna do Dwarf Castle before going above ground and turning in my Demist plus Pan items. Like, that could come back to bite me, but given that I also didn't like my character situation, I think it's defensible, and it saves a bunch of flying if it works out, and even if it doesn't work out, it's like, well, I might have to do that anyway.
Yeah, for sure. I actually want to say that Kirchin dipped into Dwarf Castle as well, but was not able to beat Kainazo, so decided against it.
Yeah, I guess for me it was just like Avenger Kane just like ran over Kainazo.
So how are you feeling about your final two matches? Who were?
I mean, so one of them I'm up against Nurm, and so that one's going to be a real tough one. Really, after having a fourth and a third, I'm just kind of like, I just want to play my best at this point. My chances of moving onward are dropping drastically. So I just want to like put on a good show at this point.
Always a lofty goal. I believe that you are now at 3 points, so if you do manage to get first place in both of your next races, you will be at 11, which should be on the cusp of at least the play-ins.
Yeah, just getting double firsts is going to be a long shot at this point. So
yeah, much easier said than done. So, all right. Well, Z-Man, do you have any final thoughts for Silver here?
No, I think you pretty much covered it all.
All right. So, have a wonderful evening, Silver. And to catch back up with Demerine on the Zeromus fights.
Oh, already on the medio phase, so she'll be done with this shortly. Probably after this nuke.
Oh, not quite the nuke, but the Avenger. And there we see it.
Demerine has finished in 4th place with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 46 minutes, and 36 seconds. And she said she's loading up Discord now, and we'll be in for an interview.
And again, while we wait for Demerine, I would say thank you to everybody behind the scenes and to all of our runners. And please go and make sure you give everybody a follow. Everyone here is very well involved in the free enterprise community and a lot of other different randomizers. I know Demerine and Sylverfire are FF1 randomizer veterans. Go give everyone a follow. You will not be disappointed.
And I also have to plug that Sylverfire is also a very good Dragon Warrior randomizer playing, and we are currently in the middle of the Dragon Warrior randomizer tournament.
And we are now joined by Demerine. Hello.
Hi. How's it going tonight?
Yeah, we're doing well. How about yourself? What did you think of the seed?
I took some risks. I made some mistakes. I pressed a little bit, the whole nine. I definitely got a couple kills and a couple of bosses I didn't need to do, but at least, I feel like I did. I feel like I could have done a lot better, but I feel like I could have done a lot worse. And I'm kind of getting what I'm expecting out of this right now. It's just not great, but we take what we get, right?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, so tell me how much you hate summoned monster bosses.
I don't actually. I just, I miscalculated and forgot that I need to have more bales than I did for Bahamut, because I should know the math there. Pale Dim was a reset only because I had no virus yet. I was basically trying to run thin on resources the entire way, which is great when you can make it work and other people can't, but in the league, everybody can make it work, so you can't make mistakes like I did.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. Everyone kind of was collapsing on Miss Dragon around the same time, but the wipe to Bahamut really kind of set you back quite a bit.
Yeah, it's a lack of safety save, which I know better, but it happens. Like, you go for it in situations like that, and I went for it in the first race too. Not that that went much better, but you make the calls and.
Yeah, and then you had the unfortunate Bygone situation, which unfortunately was just kind of RNG screwing you over.
I had to gamble on that at that point because I knew with the Bahamut wipe I was way behind, so I had to gamble that a very difficult location would have the crystal, or would have Darkness Crystal. So I was hoping that it wasn't. When I went up tower and I got the Rat Tail at the top, I'm like, all right, let Super Cannon pay off, because if Rat Tail pays off, I lost.
Yeah, so everybody else kind of did the Odin play except for Kirchin, who kind of followed in your train of thought and did the Ashura spot, which was the D-Lunars, and that led to Earth Crystal, which led to getting Rosa and the pass.
Wow, good call.
And we did see frog strats, because everybody is loving those frog strats. Shout out to Dipwood for probably showing most of us that that's possible, even if it was an accident.
Yeah, they're, as strats go, it just, goes to show you things happen so often.
Amazing that in a game that's, over 20 years old, people are still finding out new boss strategies.
Even if completely by mistake. That was a lot of fun.
And that's the point to this whole thing, isn't it? Just, to go out and have a bunch of fun, and that's the point, in my opinion.
Yep, much like tradition, I lost to Nightdew, I lost to Silver, just like it were practice, so that's how it goes. 2 points in the league so far to 2 races. If I finish 32nd, I finish 32nd. The Fates are, I went through a big stretch of not wanting to play. I know a lot of my friends were listening to me kind of get my bearings and everything. So, at least I finished strong, which was fantastic. I'd like to shout out Sylverfire, Nightdew, Invenerable, and Alexa LeFay for being the people who kind of joined with me at the same time, which was amazing. And of course, this fantastic community. Thank you all.
All right, I think that is going to do it for us then. Z-Man, would you like to lead us out?
Absolutely. So again, thank you to the Fizz for our restream. Thank you to Aizan Tayama for tracking. We will see you all tomorrow night, 9 p.m. Eastern Time here at RPG Unlimited Break for the first of 2 races tomorrow. For Supremacy 30-37, I am Z-Man 050778. Ladies and gentlemen, enjoy the rest of your night.
Have a great evening, everyone.